Science!
And 1, 2.
Woo! Dance! How? Hey kids, Professor Marbles here, and I'm with one of our photographers that we've met at the launch for Crew 6. We got a couple of questions we're gonna ask him. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Max Evans. I am an aerospace photographer on the Space Coast of Florida, and we're out here tonight shooting the launch of Crew 6.
I can't believe I'm here. This is incredible. I'm sure you've done launches like this a million times. Does it ever get old, or is this everyone's just as exciting and cool to shoot?
I mean, the simple answer is honestly no. I mean, everything at some point in time becomes, I guess you could say, numb. Like, you get used to it, but honestly, the feeling of coming on site, it feels the same every time. I always get so excited. It's such a privilege to be here. I mean, anywhere you step around here, anywhere you walk, you're walking with history.
Oh yeah.
And you feel the weight of that on your shoulders as you walk around, especially, you know, we just got back from the crew walkout over from the astronaut crew quarters.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah, and there's always a rush when you see them in their spacesuits getting in their vehicles to head out to the launch pad, which is where they're at now, getting ready to go.
Yeah, we can't believe that we're here. How's the process for you getting some like credentials to be able to come here and to keep coming back?
Well, the simple answer is I recommend finding an outlet, whether it be like a magazine or a website, and it's as simple as applying as media on one of NASA's media pages. Although it may take you a while to get in because it's not necessarily a straightforward process sometimes, and there's a lot of people trying to get in. But if you push through hard enough and you find someone big enough, you can definitely make your way in.
Very cool. A couple of questions that we got earlier today. What's your favorite photo that you've taken?
Oh my goodness. So that's like, that question is the equivalent of choosing between my favorite children if I had any. The first one that comes to mind is I have a streak shot from actually just over there at the press site beyond the countdown clock for the Inspiration 4 mission back in 2021. Back then they had the bleachers that are over there. They were over there, and I had the bleachers full of people on both sides, and I had the pad right in between, and it arched, and it was long exposure going in between the bleachers. That, I think, might be the first one that comes to mind usually every time.
Very cool.
But of course, any image from the recent Artemis 1 program, especially for the launch, you know.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. How did you get into photography?
So ever since I was a kid, I've been a space freak ever since I was a kid. Yeah. And you know, as life went on, that topic kind of just went to the back of the mind as I was focusing on other things, doing other things in life. I got my first camera when I was 17. You know, I'd always liked taking pictures, even when I was a kid. But it was always just like on my phone, on like a cheap camera. You get it like Walgreens or something. Yeah. Cheap film cameras, that kind of stuff. I've always enjoyed the art of just capturing a moment. And it wasn't until I was about 20, or I would say probably, I think I was 17 or 18 when I actually bit the bullet and bought my first camera.
Like a big professional, not a disposable?
I wouldn't even call it a professional camera. It was just a little Canon T3i, you know, an entry-level device. And photography for me has always been a way for me to, I don't want to say indulge because that's the wrong word, but just kind of invest and explore the various passions I have in life, whether that be sports, and I've always been a huge engineering buff despite, you know, my lack of schooling. I've always been a fan of engineering, whether that be in the automotive sector, aviation, and especially aerospace. I've been a space freak ever since I was a kid. So it's always been my way of getting in the field. And the most pivotal day of my life was when I came here for the first time in 2019, where I saw in person for the first time buildings and launch vehicles and launch sites that I'd only ever seen in textbooks, articles, videos for the first time. And I'm seeing them with my eyes for the first time, and I'm never going to forget how powerful that was for me. And that was the one day where I pivoted my entire life really to where I am now.
That's so cool.
Into becoming a member of the media over here at the Kennedy Space Center.
That's so cool. What's your best tip or insight for a photographer starting out?
Practice, 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 practice. I mean, learning the basic functions of a camera like shutter speed, aperture, ISO, different lenses, different focal lengths, a combination of what to use in certain lighting conditions. Practice. Put yourself out there and shoot what you want to shoot. It sounds overly simple, but that's genuinely the truth of it. And if you love the art enough, you'll keep going over time, and it will compound into something that you've built that you're proud of.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're into sports and you want to get more into it,
Absolutely.
I guess that's what you want to shoot. So what's the coolest scientific thing you've seen? Maybe not even here, but just anywhere in general.
Coolest scientific thing I've seen? Oh boy. I mean, it's the safe assumption is rocket launches, of course.
Yeah.
Because rocketry in itself is a physics masterclass and also just a cluster in itself of how much is going on.
Oh yeah.
You know, watching SLS fly for the first time was amazing considering its size.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I think, the second or third biggest rocket ever made in the US and the most powerful to fly so far. But man, I haven't been asked that question. That's a really good question, and I would have to have probably more time to think about that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Watching Artemis 1 fly for the first time and just the thing when you're having the privilege of being a launch photographer and being in the presence of various different launch vehicles of all different sizes, it's humbling knowing that you're in the presence of something that is immensely powerful and almost infinitely powerful than you are.
Yeah.
And watching it happen and unfold in person, especially for the first time, is kind of gobsmacking. So I would have to say anything around Artemis 1 launch was definitely a highlight.
Definitely. We weren't here for that, but yesterday or 2 days ago, we drove by the rocket and we were 100 feet away from like the gates to the pad.
Yeah.
And that alone is just kind of like, can't believe I'm here. This isn't, we've said it so many times today and this whole weekend, like this isn't real. It's just, you can't believe it until you see it type stuff.
And LC-39A as well is the launch pad that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin blasted off from to go to the moon.
Yeah.
So when I say you're walking on history everywhere you go, you know, you guys going out to the launch pad,
yeah.
People who every single man who went to the moon launched from the ground you're standing on.
Yeah, this is, I mean, anywhere here, there's probably like an entire, like a litany of history of just, you can't like.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah, anything you touch, what is this? What was that?
Yes.
Who was here? What happened here? There's so much underneath all of it. I think that's it. Anything you want to throw out?
This is going to young kids, right?
Yeah.
I would honestly say just follow what you're passionate about. I mean, coming from personally, do what you love. Even if it's against the grain, do what you love. It's super cliche to say you'll never work a day in your life, and that's not true. I mean, even doing what you love, some of your toughest days are going to be really, really tough.
Yeah.
But if you're following something you're really passionate about, you will find a way to make it work and find a way forward and have just a really fulfilling life and field of work.
Yeah.
So, especially in the field of STEM.
Exactly. Yeah, we always end our videos saying, look for the science around you, and it's everywhere.
Be curious. Stay curious.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Exactly.
There's no dumb questions.
Yeah.
As simple as it sounds, there's no dumb questions.
Exactly, yeah.
It
and a
never
place
hurts
like
to
this.
inquire about anything.
Yeah. Ask anybody, raise your hand, don't be afraid to ask, definitely.
Stay curious, always want to learn more, because the older you get, the more you realize how much you still have yet to learn.
Oh yeah.
And learning, if you have the right mindset, is still so fun.
Yeah.
Genuinely. So stay curious. That's probably my best advice.
Awesome. Well, thanks for answering some of our questions and hanging out with us.
Of course.
That's it for this video, kids. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and to always look for the science around you, and we'll see you in the next video.